Dear Kang, on behalf of the Swedish Academy, it is my privilege to convey to you our warmest congratulations on the Nobel Prize in Literature 2024.
History was written at the Stockholm Concert Hall on December 10th. The writer, Kang, the first Asian female Nobel laureate in literature and only the second Korean Nobel Prize winner. It's no surprise that Kang was the star of Nobel Week 2024, the annual celebration honoring the year's Nobel Prize laureates in Stockholm, Sweden. After nearly 2 months of keeping a low profile following her Nobel Prize win, the Korean author embraced the spotlight at Nobel Week.
This award is given to the literature, and this year I was awarded. This is my conclusion.
Throughout the week-long celebration, from December 6th to 12th, 아리랑뉴스 traveled to Stockholm to cover Kang's Nobel journey from beginning to win. Nobel Week 2024, explore the highlights of Nobel Week 2024 with Arirang. December in Sweden is cold and crisp. But there's something else in the air, something that makes the frost feel a little warmer. It's Nobel Week. Every December, Nobel Week celebrates the year's Nobel Prize laureates in Sweden, the home of Alfred Nobel, the prize's founder, for the greatest benefit to humankind. For more than a century, Alfred Nobel's words have guided the Nobel Prize, honoring exceptional achievements in science, literature, and peace.
I think one of the important things, what's significant, is that it is an occasion where we put science and literature and peace work in focus. I mean, that's not done all of the time, and this is a week where we can really highlight these important achievements and reach so many people. So that is what the Nobel Week is about.
This year, the spotlight shone a little brighter on Korea. It all started on October 10th.
The Nobel Prize in Literature for 2024 is awarded to South Korean author Kang for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life.
Kang became the first Asian female laureate in the category and only the second Korean Nobel Prize winner in history. Following the announcement in October, her books began flying off the shelves, both in Korea and abroad.
현지에서도 한강 작가님 책이 다 매진이 돼서 저희도 이제 문화원에 그걸 빌리러 오시는 분들이 너무 많았는데 저희도 책 구매하는데 되게 굉장히 어려워가지고 한참 이제 대기를 하셔야 빌릴 수 있을 정도로.
I had read 4 of her books that have been published in Swedish, and I had read all of them.
I feel like the Nobel laureates don't really come from Asia very often, so this was like a very nice surprise, and I think it's very well earned, considering like the depth of her work.
The festivities of Nobel Week officially began at the Nobel Prize Museum in Gamla stan, Stockholm's Old Town. Here, laureates donated personal artifacts and signed a chair at Bistro Nobel, leaving behind a piece of their story. So this is a tradition during Nobel Week. Every year, the Nobel Prize laureate donates his or her personal artifact that best introduces who they are. And this is the artifact that Kang donated to the museum this year.
She actually donated this teacup together with some instruction on what she did when she wrote her last book. And there was 3 steps. Step number 1, she would wake up at 5:30 every morning. She did not always succeed. Step 2 was she needed to take a walk every single day. And the 3rd was to have a cup of tea from this teacup. And then afterwards she would look into the swirl, and that became her universe when she wrote the book.
A few hours later, the first big moment of the week came. Han Kang's Nobel Prize in Literature press conference. It was Han's first press conference since her win was announced.
This award is given to the literature, and this year I was awarded. This is my conclusion, and this makes me more comfortable. And I'll try to write on without any pressure, and yeah, so I'm ready to write again now.
However, the press conference wasn't only about celebration. It touched on Korea's political turmoil, a brief martial law imposition on December 3rd that echoed the themes of Han's 2014 novel Human Acts, which explores the 1980 Gwangju democratization movement.
소년이 온다를 쓰기 위해서 79년 말부터 진행되었던 계엄 상황에 대해서 공부를 했었는데요. 2024년에 다시 계엄 상황이 전개되는 것에 큰 충격을 받았습니다. 문학이라는 것은 끊임없이 타인의 내면으로 들어가고 또 그러는 과정에서 자신의 내면을 깊게 파고 들어가는 그런 행위이기 때문에 계속해서 그런 행위들을 반복하면서 어떤 내적인 힘이 생기게 되죠. 그래서 어떤 갑작스러운 상황이 왔을 때 스스로 생각하고 판단하고 최선을 다해서 어떤 결정을 하기 위해서 애쓸 수 있는 어떤 힘이 생긴다고 생각이 됩니다.
Though the martial law lasted only a few hours, Han says what she witnessed left a profound impact.
맨몸으로 장갑차 앞에서 멈추려고 애를 쓰셨던 분들도 보았고, 그리고 맨손으로 무장한 군인들을 껴안으면서 이제 제지하려고 하는 모습들도 보았고, 또 총을 들고 다가오는 군인들 앞에서 버텨보려고 애쓰는 사람들의 모습도 보았습니다. 그분들의 진심과 용기가 느껴졌던 순간이었습니다.
On the same day as Han Kang addressed the press upstairs, the Nobel Creations exhibition opened downstairs. So the museum, as you can see, is fully prepared to kickstart the week-long event introducing this year's Nobel Prize laureates, including South Korean author Han Kang. The exhibition features dresses created by first-year students at Beckman's College of Design in Stockholm based on their interpretations of this year's Nobel Prize winners.
It's a great opportunity, especially since we're first-year students. This is our first term, and it feels like a big first step to have this publicity, and it's a great honor to interpret the prizes, and also that the Nobel Prize winners are going to see these creations.
This dress was inspired by Han Kang.
This very tight drape, it symbolizes that she's held in a grip of silence. And then there is this hand coming in here, which is a sign of pain and relief. And then this arm here that wraps around the torso is like a straitjacket. And hidden in the folds of the dress are texts from the books. And also there is a detail here of a burnt fabric and also broken seams around the dress, and it symbolizes the trauma of war.
The day after her press conference, Han gave her Nobel Lecture, often regarded as the laureate's acceptance speech. Titled Light and Thread, her lecture explored the recurring themes in her work: love, humanity, and the pain intertwined with both.
우리는 인간성을 믿고자 하기에 그 믿음이 흔들릴 때 자신이 파괴되는 것을 느끼는 것일까? 우리는 인간을 사랑하고자 하기에 그 사랑이 부서질 때 고통을 느끼는 것일까? 사랑에서 고통이 생겨나고 어떤 고통은 사랑의 증거인 것일까? 첫 소설부터 최근의 소설까지 어쩌면 내 모든 질문들의 가장 깊은 겹은 언제나 사랑을 향하고 있었던 것 아닐까?
She also expressed her gratitude to readers for connecting with her through the golden thread of language.
소설을 쓸 때 나는 신체를 사용합니다. 보고 듣고 냄새 맡고 맛보고 부드러움과 온기와 차가움과 통증을 느끼는, 심장이 뛰고 갈증과 허기를 느끼고 걷고 달리고 바람과 눈비를 맞고 손을 맞잡는 모든 감각의 세부들을 사용합니다. 그 생생한 감각들을 전류처럼 문장들에 불어넣으려 하고 그 전류가 읽는 사람들에게 전달되는 것을 느낄 때면 놀라고 감동합니다.
Han's presence extended beyond the lecture hall, illuminating Stockholm. Among the 16 light installations featured in the Nobel Week Lights Festival, 2 were inspired by her, The Leading Lights and De Auditon.
Her writing is it's poetic and also very social realism in a way, and that is kind of inspiration for me in this artwork as well, to have something that is in a way magical, but also like focusing on human beings here and now.
De Auditon also served as the venue for Literature Night. The event celebrated the works of 4 female laureates, including Kang. Excerpts from her latest novel, We Do Not Part, were recited in both Korean and Swedish.
작별하지 않는다, 한강. 밀도가 얼마나 낮은 눈인지 내가 앉는 대로 끝없이 깊게 꺼져내렸다. 격벽 같은 눈이 우리를 갈라놓았다.
이렇게 스웨덴에서 또 한국어로 한강 작가님의 아름다운 문장을 들을 수 있다는 것도 되게 뜻깊고 감동적인 순간이었습니다.
한강 작가님 수상을 통해 이제 다시금 이제 책의 소중함을 일깨워진 것 같고.
It's the history that we all have in us through our forefathers, and that you can't really escape it, and you have to talk about it and read about it and to understand yourself and your family and existence actually. So in that way I can relate to it a lot.
As another unforgettable day of Nobel Week came to an end, the excitement continued to build, leading to the much anticipated highlight, the Nobel Prize Award Ceremony and Banquet. Finally, the big day arrived. December 10th, Nobel Day. The Stockholm Concert Hall, where the award ceremony would take place, and Stockholm City Hall, the venue for the banquet, were busy with final preparations.
It's around 40, and they're from Sweden's top restaurant, but it's also students, because it's really good for students to be attending a dinner like this. So we started like late summer, actually, to take care of a little bit of fermentation and also drying some of the produce that we really want to show.
So the apple for me is a great symbol for knowledge and innovation. So it feels good to actually work with the apple for this kind of people. So it feels like it also symbolizes them in a way.
A huge crowd gathered outside the Stockholm Concert Hall, braving the cold, to to witness history.
It's a great honor to come from the same country.
Well done.
Yes, a great work and
스톡홀름 와서 한국어가 이제 실제로 표기되거나 아니면 낭독회 때 이제 나오거나 하는 과정들에서 확실하게 체감을 한 것 같아서 현지에 오니까 저는 좀 남다른 것 같습니다.
노벨 문학상 수상자로 선정되시자마자 저희가 호애를 발행했었거든요. 그때 그거 하면서도 되게 자랑스럽고 이걸 저희가 뭔가 호애로 낼 수 있다는 것 자체가 굉장히 영광스러웠었던 것 같습니다.
At 4 p.m., the ceremony began.
The awards, in their diversity, also address the global challenges of today. The laureates have paved the way. Science, literature, and peace offer different paths to tackle today's wicked problems. But they all remind us that it is not blind destiny that decides on our future as humanity. This also offers hope. It lies in our hands to change the world.
And then the moment arrived.
Dear Kang, on behalf of the Swedish Academy, it is my privilege to convey to you our warmest congratulations on the Nobel Prize in Literature 2024. May I now please ask you to step forward and receive your prize from His Majesty the King.
Hans stepped forward to receive the Nobel Prize diploma and medal from Sweden's Carl Gustaf.
첫 장 끝나자마자 이거는 무조건 번역해야 되겠다. 근데 끝까지 갔는데 그냥 점점 더 그 작품에 사로잡혀갖고 너무 번역할 때도 감동이었고.
이제 한강 작가님께서는 어떤 우리 사회의 어떤 내면 그리고 역사적인 어떤 서사 그 속에서 인간의 어떤 진실된 사랑이 있다. 그리고 내면의 아름다움이 있다. 그거를 작품을 통해서 좀 찾고 싶어 하셨거든요. 그런 어떤 그 부분이 그 노벨상 위원회에서 얘기한 그 독특한 문체로 잘 이렇게 좀 펼쳐 보여주신 것 같아요.
Following the ceremony, the celebrations moved to the Grand Nobel Banquet. Over 1,300 guests, including laureates and members of the Swedish royal family, gathered to honor the year's winners. At the end of the banquet, one laureate from each category delivered a speech of thanks.
올해 노벨문학상 수상자를 소개하게 되어 영광입니다. It is a great honor to introduce the Nobel laureate in literature, author Kang.
Han focused on the role of literature in times of darkness, offering great comfort to many in Korea during a time of political and social uncertainty.
In the darkest night, There is language that asks what we are made of, that insists on imagining into the first-person perspectives of the people and living beings that inhabit this planet. Language that connects us one another. Literature that deals in this language inevitably holds a kind of body heat. Just as inevitably, the work of reading and writing literature stands in opposition to all acts that destroy life. I would like to share the meaning of this award, which is for literature, with you, standing here in opposition to violence together. Thank you.
So from winning the Man Booker International Prize in 2016 to the Nobel Prize in Literature this year, Kang is redefining Korea's literary legacy. What stories she will pen and what milestones she'll achieve more remain to be seen. As Nobel Week drew to a close, Kang created a special opportunity to meet with Korean media at her Swedish publishing company.
제가 강연문을 썼어야 했기 때문에 좀 과거를 많이 돌아보게 된 계기가 됐죠. 그러면서 뭔가 내가 어디 지금 나의 좌표를 알게 된다고 할까요? 지금 내가 어디쯤 있고 어디서 출발해서 여기까지 왔구나.
This is when she showed a lighter side, recalling her memories from her time in Stockholm.
오늘 아침에 도서관 방문을 했었는데요. 10살에서 15살까지의 학생들이 노래도 불러주고 이제 자신들이 쓴 시도 낭독도 해주고 그리고 제가 쓴 소설을 나눠서 함께 읽은 다음에 토론도 하고 그걸 가지고 그림도 그리고 그런 여러 가지 재미있는 일들을 했더라고요. 근데 어떤 아이가 내가 만약에 토마토가 된다면 나는 맛이 없을 테니까 먹지 말아달라고 토마토 수프에 넣지 말아달라고 이런 시를 썼더라고요. 너무 재밌었고 가장 기억에 남는 일 중에 하나가 된 것 같아요.
She also took a moment to thank the hidden heroes of her work.
제가 개인적으로 알고 있는 분들도 계시지만 모르는 분들이 훨씬 더 많은 상황이에요. 그렇지만 우리는 함께 있는 것이죠. 문장마다 함께 있고 모든 문장 속의 모든 세부들 속에 함께 있는 것이다. 감사하다 이런 말씀을.
And with the celebrations now behind her, Han is ready to ride again.
이번 스톡홀름에서의 이 일들이 다 끝나고 나면 좀 조용한 일상으로 돌아가서 쓰려고 했던 논산부작도 마무리를 하고 싶고요. 그리고 힘하고 형식적으로 연결이 된다고 말씀드렸던 이제 그 책은 그 다음에 써야겠죠. 그래서 내용적으로 연결되는 건 아니고요. 형식적으로 똑같진 않을 것 같은데 조금 이제 비슷한 느낌으로 가게 될 다음 소설도 생각하고 있어요. 이제 저는 일상으로 돌아가서 좀 열심히 신작을 쓸 테니까 지켜주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Though she has achieved numerous firsts, the arc of Hanga's story hasn't reached its climax just yet. We'll now wait for what the Nobel laureate has in store for her readers around the world.